Hi, my name's Syed and I study medicine. Originally I'm from Birmingham, so it's pretty close by. And yeah, growing up I was always pretty interested in like the human body and studying it. And so medicine seemed like a good choice for me. I went to school in Birmingham and then I did IB, which is a little bit different to A levels. You do 6 subjects. And so that was very vigorous. But we studied loads of different stuff. Um, and I did biology at school, and that was kind of where my passion was, where I like was excited to like turn up to lessons, and that's where it kind of stemmed from. Yeah, I'm really interested in like problem solving. So like what gets me ticking is like a difficult problem that other people can't solve, and I know I just get a kick out of that. It's very satisfying. We do a lot of like case reviews in medicine, and so when nobody knows like what the issue is, and then you figure it out, that's what makes me tick. And also like looking to the future as well. For me, medicine was like always changing, and there's a lot of like developments with like AI and like technology, and that's really interesting to me. Like I love tech as well, so it's kind of like a mix. Like I could have done computer science, or I could have gone into medicine, but I always thought you can always be a doctor who loves tech rather than a tech guy who wants to save lives. I guess for me, like coming out of school, I really liked that academic environment. I wanted to be surrounded by like motivated people who were like passionate about like a single topic. So really, it was just to find other like-minded people who'd be similar to me, have similar interests to me, and that's what I found. Going to university kind of worked. It seemed like a great way to make friends. So yeah, like I said, I'm from Birmingham, which is like pretty close. It's only an hour away. I thought about either staying in Birmingham or going to Nottingham, because, to be honest, I never really heard of Nottingham before. Like researching universities, all I knew was like Robin Hood. Um, so I was applying during the COVID pandemic, so I wasn't allowed to come to Nottingham. So a lot of my stuff was like virtual tours and stuff. And I saw the campus; it was really, really pretty, and that's why I picked Nottingham, because it was like super green, very different to like all the other campuses I looked at. And that was like my main driving force. And I also did have one cousin who came to Nottingham, and they only had good things to say about it. They said it is smaller than Birmingham, but the town has like so much stuff to do, and they really felt welcome here. So I guess a lot of my preconceptions were like from movies. So seeing what like college was like in America, but I don't know how to explain it. I was very scared about meeting new people, but also excited. So like nervous and anxious, but also like I couldn't wait to get started. And then when I started, again, it was in the COVID pandemic, so we were all kind of like in our rooms. But it just felt like a big school trip, to be honest. Like when you go to school and you like go away for a week. So all in our dorms, I made really good friends with like the people in my corridor, and very quickly, like in Freshers Week, all that anxiety kind of like dissipates once you find your people and you start getting involved in like societies. And yeah, it was really fun. Dissection, being cut open um, a cadaver, like a dead body, someone that has donated their body to science, and it's quite scary in the beginning uh, because for most people it's the first ever time you've seen a dead body. But after like the initial shock subsides, you feel like a great sense of like honor and pride that somebody has like entrusted me to look at their body, and it's a great way to learn about the human body. Like you can learn from lectures and like online, but there's no substitute for getting stuck in and actually seeing what muscles do what, how the heart looks, holding a heart in your hand, and seeing all the stuff that can go wrong. It makes you feel grateful to be alive. Living in the halls was great because everybody was like in the same position as you. They're all nervous about making friends. Everybody was like from different places. And the best thing was just, we used to just go out and sit on the Downs, which is like this area on University Park campus, which is just a big field. You live next to a big field, which is great because you feel completely isolated from the rest of the world. And we all just sat in circles and just told stories and told each other like where we're from and stuff. And that was really fun. And then the university would open up the dining halls in COVID just as like a free space and give us free food. And that was really, really fun because you'd just be there having like loads of chips and cakes late into the hours of the night and just chatting with your friends. And that was one of my funnest memories. in summer, like when it's hot, they open up the lake and you can use the boats to go up and down the lake, which is really huge. But you can get like 6 of your friends and tie 2 boats together, and it's really fun. You can have races, and that's really fun to do in summer. That was crazy at the beginning because I had no idea Nottingham even had a lake. I didn't look. I was very surprised. There's so much water. And that was really fun. If you're looking for a less physically intense thing to do, going to Millennium Gardens is really nice. It's like this very pretty, well-maintained like meditation garden, like lots of stones and a pretty fountain. You can just go and chill and chat with your friends. That's really fun to do as well. The best thing to do off campus is definitely to go into Old Market Square, which is like Nottingham city centre, because there's always so much to do. I remember when I first came to Nottingham, they used to have food festivals, and they're always celebrating something like Black History Month or South Asian Appreciation Month. And that was really fun because I'd never seen something like it before, and it's great to support local businesses, which are like scattered throughout Nottingham. So that's something that's really fun. The best thing about living at university was probably being able to get to know your friends so well, because I think the bond that you share with people that you live with, day in, day out, is quite special. And eating together meal times if you live in catered accommodation. But also my friends who live in like non-catered accommodation, they just love that sense of independence, and just every day was something new because nobody has really set plans, and some days you're just like, let's go out, let's do this, and you can because you're living out at university. I think the best thing about being a University of Nottingham student is the variety that Nottingham has. So you have loads of different campus and loads of different courses. So you're always going to different places and meeting new people. And that to me was really special because I didn't know that Nottingham had so many campuses. Originally, I just thought it was one place. You soon realise that there's like hopper buses which can like take you to like Jubilee campus, or, like Sutton Bonington. And that to me is like the best thing about being a University of Nottingham student specifically, is that you get to see so many different places and it is so pretty. The best thing has to be full body dissection because not all medical schools do that. And so seeing like where all the organs are in relation to the rest of the body is very, very useful. And also sitting in a group with your friends and like having like this shared task to do is really fun because if you like problem solving, seeing what makes the human body tick is very, very exciting. The university does a lot of stuff, especially around like Mental Health Week. There's loads of stalls in Portland Building, which is a student union. The medical school has lots of structures in place, like MedSoc support, and they buddy you up with like a medic parent scheme. It's like a non-actual parent, but a person in year above, basically, if it becomes like your medic dad or your medic mum, and they'll check in on you from time to time, share their notes, and it feels like a big family. So yeah, I do feel supported. The funny thing is like you can meet your medic great-great-great-great-grandfather who's like a surgeon somewhere. Yeah, and you can like go on meals together and stuff. And it's mostly because they do formal like personal tutors and like peer mentors, but they're supposed to be more informal. You can just have a chat, and sometimes that's what you need. They're also very close in age too. They've been through the same stuff, and so it's very useful. I mean, I guess my biggest inspiration has been my parents because they're also doctors, and growing up seeing what they went through, and going to work with them sometimes was really fun and very inspiring because I saw like how dedicated they were, how much time and effort they put into taking care of people, and I think it's safe to say that that impacted my decision and choosing to do medicine. The great thing about Nottingham is that there's so many societies, and there's a new society popping up every day. So there's loads of cultural and religious societies like ISOC and PACSOC, which is like the Islamic Society and the Pakistani Society. So if you're looking for people like a similar like ethnic cultural background as you, it's really easy to find them. And then they host loads of events. So going out for like meals and food, that was really fun. And then being part of MedSoc as well, which is the Medical Society for Medicine students. They organize events like balls and boat parties. And then just getting involved in volunteering. So Nottingham has the Student Ambassador Scheme, where you can help with widening participation, which is something that's really important, especially in medicine as well. So getting people from different backgrounds, so they might be the first in their family to go to university, or they might not even be thinking about going to university. So as a student ambassador, Nottingham will bring like year 10 students or like even younger from like the surrounding schools, and you'll show them how great it is to be a University of Nottingham student, just being a university student in general. And it's really great for like raising their aspirations, and the kids always say they love it. That's super fun because I guess I came from like a quite privileged background. I saw my parents being doctors and stuff, but like even at school, it's really fun. Like because I don't know, in some schools you get teachers saying to kids, "Don't even apply for medicine. You won't get in. You have to get the highest grades." And some of my friends, they were like, "Dude, I'm surprised I'm even here." And I'm like, "No, like you can. It's great." And so yeah, showing the kids. Oh, they always ask like, "How much you get paid?" But I'm like, it's not about that. It's really fun and fulfilling. But yeah, I do a lot of it. It's really fun. It is a passion. Yeah. The biggest thing I've discovered about myself is probably how open I am to trying new things, and how if I really want to do something, I can. So I had this perception before coming to university that I'd be busy all the time studying. And I am busy all the time, but it's not studying. Like you can do other stuff. And saying yes to things is very important at university, because you never know like what opportunity is like just around the corner, and you meet amazing people along the way. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I found out about myself, is that I can do a lot, and everybody can do a lot. You meet people who are like part of like GB Olympic teams here, and you're like, how do you do that and study at the same time? It's crazy. So you learn a lot about time management. You learn how to be efficient with your time, because often you'll just find like if you don't have stuff going on in the day, like you could spend all day revising. You know, there's always something, a new lecture that's always coming out. And so that's one skill that I've really learned, is like how to, set deadlines, set schedules, be strict with yourself. That's a very important thing to do. And I think that will help me after I graduate in, not letting work take over your whole life. It's very important to have like a work-life balance, especially nowadays. So having those structures in place to say that, I will not work on Fridays. I'll have that day for myself, and just segmenting your time so that you're doing something all of the time. Because when you're lazy, then that's when like things can kind of go wrong. But it's also important to have downtime. The most demanding thing about coming to university is probably the workload. It's very different if you're coming straight out of school, or some of my friends who took gap years before, they were just having fun for a whole year, and then you come and it's a lot. It's a lot of work that you've got to do. And the best way that I found of overcoming it is realizing that everyone's struggling the same way. And so if you do ask your friends to help out, have a study session, group study session, that's really fun. Because when you're sitting there alone, just looking at slides and trying to watch these videos, try and force the information to your head, it's really difficult. We can test each other, talk over subjects, and sometimes just talking out like a really difficult, complex thing that you can't get your head around, talking it out and it will just come to you like a light bulb moment. And so yeah, that's the best way to deal with it. And then you just got to put in the hours, and trying to reward yourself after doing like a big chunk of work, because that helps a lot as well. I guess the thing about medicine is that your future can look very different depending on what you do. There's so many different avenues you can take. I guess for me, I look at trying to help the future of medicine, so maybe going into policy planning and looking at management. So general practice of primary care, which is where like when patients come, they normally will see their GP. And so seeing how you can make that like whole patient experience better, and really focusing on like the actual user for the NHS. That's kind of where I see making like the best, like I just want to create change, would be great to do it there. I guess having my Nottingham degree at the end is a little bit special to me, because I get 2 degrees by studying medicine. You get a bachelor's of medical science degree because you do have to do a research project, which I'm about to go into, and you get, I think it's Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery degree. And so it is a 5-year course. And so having that degree will mean I would have made some really great friends and had lots and lots of memories by being here for 5 years. And I'll also come out with 2 degrees. So yeah, it will mean a lot to me. I always believe in like dreaming big. And so I guess dreaming big would be to, I guess, I don't know, one day be health secretary or have like a position where you could change the day-to-day runnings of how medicine is like given in this country, like all over the world, so that people feel comfortable coming to their doctors and they know that by going to the doctors, they're going to get the care they deserve and they feel confident in like healthcare professionals everywhere. That to me would be the dream.